We are so close to Valve's new console-like PC hardware finally hitting the market. The shipment manifests are rolling in, the warehouses are stacking up, and we know basically everything there is to know about the tech, except for one bloody thing: the price. And right on cue, the internet has found a leak. But if these numbers are even remotely real, Valve hasn't just lost their minds. They are actively suffocating this thing in the crib before it even has a chance to launch. Let's look at the absolute clown show numbers that are currently making the rounds from this leak. A massive European retail site apparently leaked the exact pricing in their website's back-end code. Take a look at how this shakes out. Steam Machine 512 gigabyte base model is slated at a steep £1,120. That's roughly $1,200 to $1,300 US dollars. And the Steam Machine 2 terabyte flagship model is topping out at a staggering £1,320, pushing $1,500 to over $2,000 depending on your regional markup. Are you kidding me? To put this into perspective, the cheapest model here makes the PlayStation 5 Pro look like a budget tier bargain bin buy. It is hundreds of dollars more expensive than the most premium console on the market right now, which is close to $1,000 already. Let's be real for a second. Some of us grew up in an era when games mattered and a console was a dedicated, accessible box you plugged into your TV to have a good time. It didn't require a second mortgage. And I get it, this thing is a PC. But Valve is trying to roll out a console-style machine at $1,300 plus on its base. It is dead on arrival if that is really the price. Plan the funeral, cremate the chassis, and throw the ashes in the river. At this point, with this price, you aren't going to be competing with Sony or Xbox anymore. You are competing with a fully custom, high-end, or even a top end, not the highest end, but still a do-it-yourself desktop gaming PC that will absolutely obliterate this performance that you have offered on your Steam machine. Why on earth would anyone buy a locked down, middle of the road power spec in a fancy box when they could just buy a literal monster of a rig off the shelf for the exact same cash? If Valve lets this be the reality, it is complete self-destructive corporate lunacy. They will completely alienate the core budget-conscious PC gaming community that they've spent years building. Now, I know, everybody in the comments is going to jump down my throat, but before we completely write off Valve's next hardware generation, let's take a deep breath and look at the actual source. This data leaked from the back end of a major electronics e-commerce site in the Czech Republic. Now, why are their numbers so incredibly high? Well, there are two massive factors here. One, corporate scalping. Valve historically does not use third-party retailers for major launches. They sell directly through Steam to control their supply chain and pocket the margins. When third-party retailers get their hands on Valve's hardware, like we saw the original Steam Deck that that launched globally, they slapped a massive 40% to 50% markup on those third-party sites. These European sites are likely just prepping to buy the retail units and then mark them up to high heaven and resell them to desperate buyers. And 2, back-end placeholder garbage. When database managers build a landing page for a heavily rumored product, the system requires a numerical value to function. They can't just leave it blank. So they throw in an arbitrary high number as a placeholder so they can test the site layout and be the first on Google the second the official pre-orders open. But what is the verdict? Valve didn't build the modern PC gaming landscape by being stupid. They know their market. They know that if they want to recruit console players over to the clean, subscription-free ecosystem of Steam, the price has to be inviting. It cannot be more expensive than a PlayStation 5 with specs that are slightly below a PlayStation 5. Let that sink in. But until Gabe Newell himself drops the official decree, these leaks are nothing more than high-priced fiction for now. But it is the only real thing, real solid look at any type of a price so far for the Steam machine. What I want to know is what you guys think, of course. Let me know down in the comments. I need to know what is the absolute maximum that you'd be willing to pay for Valve's new machine. I think this thing's going to be coming in at $800 base and at $1,000 for the 2 terabyte version. Oosh, I don't know about you guys, man. It's still steep for me. That's still too steep for me for a machine that is spec-wise not that impressive, even if it is, quote, more than what the average Steam player is gaming on. And that might be true. But you have to compare it with what console players are playing on. And for that price point, you can get a better performing machine for the same price in a PlayStation 5. Hit that like button, subscribe for more Zero BS gaming news, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!